Oslo leads Europe's electric vehicle revolution through ambitious policies to electrify public transit and restrict downtown car access by 2030. How is the Norwegian capital transforming urban mobility sustainably? Hello, and welcome to our channel. Oslo is charging ahead to become the EV capital of Europe. By 2030, Norway's largest city wants to banish most private cars from downtown while electrifying buses, trams, ferries, and taxis. An urban mobility makeover is underway. In this video, we'll explore how Oslo is pulling this off, from expanding electric buses to restricting polluting cars and incentivizing shared mobility. We'll also see why Oslo's citizens support this push and how it promises to slash emissions while creating a more people-centric metropolis. All aboard as we uncover Oslo's roadmap to revolutionize urban transport sustainably. Phase out fossil-fueled mobility. First, let's set the scene. Oslo aims to cut 95% of its transport emissions within this decade under its ambitious climate budget strategy. And the prize is a vibrant zero-emission city center designed for people, not vehicles. One where walking, cycling, and mass transit encourage social connections over gridlocked noise and pollution. Achieving this requires phasing out both fossil-fueled private and public mobility. On private vehicles, the city will start restricting downtown access for petrol and diesel cars through tolls and parking limits from 2025 onwards. Simultaneously, Oslo subsidizes the purchase of EVs while expanding charging infrastructure to ease this transition. On public transport, the focus is firmly on rapidly greening buses, trams, taxis, and ferries. The Stat is procuring only zero-emission models while retrofitting depots for overnight charging. So, let's take a closer look at the pillar accelerating this shift: Oslo's electric bus transformation. Electric bus transition. The Public Transit Authority, Ruter, has an aggressive timeline for electric bus adoption: complete fleet replacement by 2028. That's just 5 years to overhaul 550 diesel buses. Financial incentives encouraging operators like Unibus to acquire electric buses help streamline this process. In April 2023, Solaris completed Norway's largest single delivery, 183 electric buses for over $100 million to Unibus. These emission-free articulated buses now serve major routes across Oslo. And this year, Ruter will integrate 137 additional e-buses from manufacturers like VDL and Irizar, taking the total electric fleet to 320 by the end of 2023. Charging happens en route, at terminuses or back at bus garages. Other operators like Nobina, Sporvian, and Norgebus are also rapidly shifting to electric. So, Oslo's streets will soon reverberate with near-silent hums of electric motors instead of noisy, polluting diesel engines. But along with vehicles, charging infrastructure requires major upgrades to manage added electricity demand. So let's see how Oslo's planning for this. Charging infrastructure expansion. To support over 500 electric buses, Ruter is investing $60 million in charging points across 4 garages by 2025. These high-capacity 150 to 350 kilowatt chargers promise 3 to 4 hours for a full recharge. Ruter is also installing 200 fast-charging poles at bus stations all across Oslo, enabling quick 15-minute top-ups while drivers take restroom breaks. Smart charging software will optimize charging time and volume based on daily mileage needs to prevent overload risks. And Norway's largely renewable energy grid ensures buses run emission-free. In fact, their batteries can store and feed surplus solar power back into the grid. With buses sorted, Oslo must also ensure easy EV access for residents ditching private cars. So, the city's exponentially expanding curbside chargers in neighborhoods while subsidizing home charging points. Let's shift gears to why citizens support Oslo's bold mobility overhaul. Public support for a car-free city. You'd expect opposition for proposals to ban most private vehicles from Oslo's core, but over 60% of residents actually back the car-free city goals after seeing benefits of earlier restrictions. Since 2015, Oslo cut downtown parking spots by 10% annually. Space freed up allowed bike lane and pedestrian plaza expansion, while limits compelled vehicle owners to reconsider necessity. The city also imposed tolls on entering cars, raising funds for public transport upgrades. Parking is set to cost more for fossil fuel vehicles, too. And these carrot and stick policies worked. Traffic reduced 15% in 4 years. Half of downtown commuters now walk, bike, or use transit for improved commute times and physical health. And across Oslo, EVs rocketed from 5% of sales in 2015 to 88% last year, aided by exemptions from purchase tax and tolls. Citizens saw clean air, safer streets, and freedom of mobility without car dependency as the city shaped experiences around people's needs, not vehicles. Now they're excited to reclaim even more space when the near zero emission zone kicks off. Benefits of sustainable mobility. All right, let's shift gears to explore the upside Oslo could see from successfully executing its electric mobility vision centered on mass transit and shared options. Clean air. Electrifying buses and ferries eliminates diesel exhaust responsible for rising respiratory illness and CO2 emissions. Energy efficiency. Public transport passenger miles per gallon exceeds private cars, lowering Norway's overall energy burden. Safety. Increased cycling, walking for last-mile connectivity within lowered speed limits, improves road fatalities fourfold. Accessibility. Cheaper, reliable, and extensive public transit ensures freedom of movement regardless of income levels. Community vibrancy. Reclaimed parking spots become bustling sidewalk dining hubs or playgrounds bringing citizens together. Noise reduction. Without engine roar or honking, neighborhoods become calmer, allowing people to reconnect. So, with collective buy-in, Oslo's mobility transformation promises a higher quality of urban life, where the sounds of people energize public spaces, not vehicles dehumanizing them. The road ahead. Oslo won't become a near-zero emission city overnight. Diesel buses and petrol cars won't vanish suddenly in 2025. Similarly, limits on car access face criticism from some merchant groups, fearing reduced business. Yet, the city maintains restrictions will balance retail viability with livability goals after the pandemic revealed possibilities for car-free life. And EV adoption is expected to keep rising, with Norway's order for only zero-emission cars by 2025. As citizens experience the upside of fewer vehicles crowding previously clogged streets, public sentiment backing Oslo's transport evolution will only grow. The city also acknowledges effective policies require balancing stakeholder needs while steering behavior change through motivation, not penalties. So, through extensive consultation and engagement, Oslo is committed to equitably transforming urban mobility patterns for good and delivering sustainable, healthy transport options benefiting all social groups. Well, that wraps up our glimpse into Oslo's brave mobility reforms, led by game-changing electric bus adoption and courageous car reduction policies, despite expected hurdles, in reimagining city infrastructure and travel norms. Oslo's progressive vision, backed by citizen support, promises brighter days ahead. Days where bikes, buses, and trams transport smiling residents, enjoying reclaimed public spaces filled with fresh air and seamless mobility. Oslo heralds this future where sustainable urban living offers freedom, not frustration, while getting around. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.